So over the past week, I've tried out the Scylla for the first time, and I also put Suspicious on a Hyperion to see if it would actually give me better melee damage. But that got me thinking. Of course there's other wither blades, such as the Estrella and the Valkyrie. Now I've heard nothing but mixed opinions on the Valkyrie. Some people say it's amazing, and other people say it's absolutely terrible and you should just avoid it at all costs outside of dungeons. But that just seems very strange. I mean, Berserk class in dungeons is virtually dead, so naturally surely you would use this 700 million coin melee damage weapon outside of dungeons instead. Or at least that makes sense to me. Now the issue is I don't have a Valkyrie, but we do currently have a Hyperion, which we can always change. Anyway, to test how good the Valkyrie really is, today I'm going to compare it and test it out against some other cheaper alternatives. Hopefully at the end of the video we'll be able to actually see if it's worth spending 700 million coins on a Valkyrie. I mean, if it doesn't work out you can always change it to a Hyperion. So first of all we need to make this into a Valkyrie, which of course requires 8 Diamantes handles. Okay, so we've got our Hyperion and we're going to turn it into a Valk. Okay. So what needs to be done at this point? Well, we need to sort the Reforge out. Maybe, I don't know whether Withered or Fabled will be better, I assume. Let's see. Maybe Fabled. Also, in addition to that, we need to sort the Gemstones out too. Okay, that's better. I think we are actually going to go for Withered because, well, it's just such more of a buff than anything else, really. So yeah, at this point we've put Withered on, and we've got our accessories on Hurtful, which gives us quite a lot of crit damage, which helps balance out our strength and crit damage. As you can see, our strength is 1227 and our crit damage is 1056, so there's still quite a big discrepancy that we probably do need to address. Also our attack speed is kind of, yeah, so we need to put some on. But like I said earlier in the video, this Valkyrie needs some competition. So with our purse massively depleting, we've picked up this Livid Dagger, and also this Giant Sword. Now of course the Valkyrie has got better gemstones, it's also got Art of War on it, and it's Fuming Potato, and so on. I've just kept it simple, yeah, we're going with these two as well to put it up against. In terms of the rest of the setup, we've got this Necron set with Tarantula Helmet, and we also have our Tiger Pet equipped. But just before we do the damage test, are you subscribed? If you're not, why not? Become part of the 21%. Also, join the Discord server. It's the top link in the description of every single video. Whether it be carries or just somewhere to hang out, we've got you covered. Anyway, oh yeah, the damage test. Yeah, I almost forgot about that. Anyway, I've never tested out a Valkyrie ever, so I'm actually very, very interested to see what the results are going to be. But first of all, we're going to start off with our Livid Dagger to give us sort of like a base damage sort of test, just to see what this does. And it's 290k. That's somehow a back hit, but 290k. With our Giant Sword, we're going to be dealing 600k? Yeah, around about 600k. That's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. I didn't think it'd actually do that much damage. Okay, and with our Valkyrie, we're going to be dealing... Oh, wait, what was that? 290k. There's no way it deals the same amount of damage as a Livid Dagger. That... Surely that's not true. No, it's actually true. It is actually true. 290k with the Valk. It's 290k with a Livid Dagger. And a Giant Sword 600k. I'm at a loss. How can this be? Okay, I need to take a look at the stats. So, Valkyrie plus 359 base damage, plus 460 strength, plus 70% crit damage. That's probably where it's been let down. Livid Dagger, base damage 251, strength 295, crit damage plus 55. How is the Valkyrie doing less damage? I mean, something you do have to consider is our ferocity is 123 with the Valkyrie. But I'm still surprised, just on the basis of one singular hit, that a Livid Dagger actually keeps up with the Valk. And I know in real terms, if we were hitting something that had more health, it wouldn't. But even so, it's still not as much damage as a Giant Sword, which I think is absolutely insane, considering this weapon is, what, 200 million? And this weapon is over 700 million. Okay, now, it might be a bit more of a better representation if we put a dummy down and try again. So, Livid Dagger, 280 now. Okay, 280 for some reason it's gone down. Giant Sword, 590. Okay. And Valkyrie, it's going to hit twice. Okay. Yeah. It's going to hit twice pretty much every time. But, okay, but this Valkyrie at the moment is still not really... I mean, realistically, it's not really anywhere near as good as this Giant Sword. I mean, in theory, if you were able to get your ferocity to 100 with the Giant Sword, then it's almost what, it's over 1 million hit. I don't know. This is underwhelming. Now, I guess we have to test it in dungeons to see if it can redeem itself, because it is failing miserably at the moment, I'm not going to lie to you. Now, just thinking about it, maybe we should have put Soul Eater on this. But in terms of damage at the moment, we're doing around about 8.4 million, which isn't too bad, although I would have almost hoped for it to be a little bit higher. Of course, when it comes to high health mobs, we probably are going to shred through them, considering we do have 153 ferocity. Anyway, with a Livid Dagger, our damage is, if we can not hit in the back, 5.7 million, so quite a bit lower with a Livid Dagger, which is to be expected. It's a much cheaper option. It's literally like 15 mil. Honestly, I'm not sure really why I'm trying a Giant Sword out in dungeons, considering it's not really a Berserk weapon, and yeah, it's kind of pointless. Of course, that's going to do the least damage. I don't know, I think it's very easy to say on face value that it just isn't worth it, but at the same time, with such a high ferocity figure, I mean, it sort of makes you think. Like I said, if you're actually dealing damage to high health mobs, then I know perhaps we'll see how it fares against the. Oh wait, we're not even playing 4. This is 4-5. I thought we were playing 4-6. But yeah, maybe we can see how it fares a little bit later in the run. So from those tests, what can we really infer? I mean, realistically, outside of dungeons, the Valkyrie's a little bit underwhelming. Granted, its ferocity against higher health mobs is still going to be ridiculous. You are literally hitting twice. But I would probably say outside of dungeons, a Giant Sword is substantially better. Somehow the Livid Dagger manages to do the same damage in terms of one-hit damage as the Valk outside of dungeons, which is sort of beyond me. But inside of dungeons, the Valkyrie is 100% by just, there isn't even a competition. Like, it's way, way better. But at the same time, very few people actually play Berserk and use a melee weapon. I mean, most people play Berserk and use a Terminator or a Juju. Honestly, if the Valkyrie wasn't a Wither Blade, then I think it would be way, way cheaper. Of course, the fact that it's a Wither Blade keeps its value, because you could just change it into whatever you want, Hyperion, Scylla, whatever you like. And I guess before I start the video, some people were saying, basically, just don't touch it outside of dungeons, because it's not that great. And yeah, that's absolutely fair enough. I'd probably say that's true. Outside of dungeons, it's not that good. Buy a Giant Sword and you'll do more damage. Inside of dungeons, of course, the Giant Sword isn't a Berserk weapon, so you can't really compare that. Now, honestly, at this point, I'm 100% going to change this back to a Hyperion. I mean, I didn't really have any plans of keeping it like this anyway, considering it'd be a waste of money to have the 3 scrolls on a Valk. But yeah, the issue is I just don't see a place for this weapon. Outside of dungeons, like I said, it's pointless, really. Inside of dungeons, it's a Berserk weapon, and no one really uses Berserk for Berserk. People usually use Berserk not to dupe Arch. I don't know, let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Valkyrie, inside and outside of dungeons? One thing I can say for certain, like I've already said, is it's just not worth the price. It really isn't, and if it wasn't an Necron Blade, it wouldn't be worth this much. Now, I would have actually liked to include the Dark Claymore in this comparison, but the issue is we need a Master Mode 7 completion, and I don't have Kata 36 yet. So that's kind of sad. It is basically just a beefier Giant Sword anyway. Anyway, that just about wraps up today's video. I hope you all have enjoyed. If you have, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.